it comes to an investment in higher education, need-based aid is the best investment we have, especially for low-income and moderate-income folks.
You know, I'm a first-generation college kid, so I'm the first person in my family to go to college. And, you know, as far as budget cuts are concerned and people taking money and all that, if that was to go through, then I wouldn't be able to finish. And then I couldn't say I finished college. And I want to be the first person in my family to say so, that I did that.
Need-based aid is pretty much the best way of getting folks into higher education, keeping them in higher education longer, you know, being more likely to graduate.
I have a Pell Grant, and that's pretty much all I have. But I believe if I didn't have it, then I'd probably be paying out of pocket with something that wouldn't work. So K-State is a community. You can ask anybody at the university. They'll tell you it's a family-oriented place, really. Everybody knows everybody kind of deal. So it's like, it'd be like you splitting us up, you know, if you keep taking money and all that, and we don't want to see that happen.
I grew up in a home situation where it wasn't best for a child. I was in and out of foster care all out through life. I think I was in there for 5 years total. And not having my dad there, and not having, my mom was on drugs and in and out of jail, and my sister was the same way. I wasn't given the same opportunity as most kids. So I guess me wanting to be a social worker is to let the kids know that, you know, you can make it out of those situations. You can become something more than what, you know, people don't expect you to be.
If you're Pell eligible, you're automatically deemed as CAP eligible. So you should be able to have access to, you know, the CAP scholarship.
My Pell Grant, my loans, they cover my tuition, but even, I think last semester I had a $1,000 book charge that I paid out of my pocket for. So knowing that I could have had that opportunity to get the CAP state fund, that would help me out immensely, because that, like I said, that money comes straight out of my pocket from my books.
These two scholarships are often referred to as lottery scholarships because they were designed to be funded by the proceeds from the lottery. And so right now, the lottery makes money on top of the prize money they hand out, plus the administrative costs that go along with that. And what is supposed to happen is, of the, you know, $220 million a couple years ago, $3 million is supposed to go toward a few literacy programs that are designated by statute. And then the law says that after that $3 million, 45% of those proceeds are supposed to go to the Kentucky Educational Excellence Scholarship, or KEYS, which is a merit-based scholarship. And then 55% of that money is supposed to be split between CAP and KTG.
I love the field of biology, and I just want everybody else to have the love for it that I do. I want to give other people the feeling that I get when I go through a microbiology class. So I wake up, I have an 8 o'clock chemistry class, then I go to work in financial aid. My financial situation is I get KTG, which is the Kentucky Tuition Grant.
Now with KTG, you know, that's an independent school scholarship, and so it's still need-based, but it's based on your expected family contribution. So if you go to a private school, you know, your family's expected to pay some of that, but that money runs out as well. In fact, last year, 1 out of every 3 KTG eligible students didn't get it because of that fund running out.
Really, my main scholarship is the Kentucky Coal Scholarship, and it allowed me to go from taking a $5,500 loan and paying $2,000 on top of that to only having to pay $1,000, so about $500 a semester. If I could have received like the CAP or Pell Grants, it would have helped me tremendously, because it was hard for my parents to have to come up with the money on the spot, you know.
With the proposed 2017-2018 budget, more money than ever is slated to be taken away from those scholarships, $35 million and $38 million respectively, which means that each of those years, about 20,000 students are going to miss out on CAP and KTG, because that money is being transferred to a new program that hasn't even been defined yet necessarily.